It is not a $100 million fix, it's a $300 million fix. I'm proud to have asked for it, I'm proud to have fought for it, and I will continue to. That is not the reason I am moving to debate.
Well, critics already calling this one the old Louisiana Purchase. Democratic Senator Mary Landrieu voting yes for Harry Reid's health care bill. Got $300 million for her home state of Louisiana at the same time. Just one of the Senate sweeteners used to get this bill not passed, simply to get it up for debate. Senator Ron Wyden going to work alongside Finance Committee Chair Max Baucus to try and get his Free Choice Act into the bill as well, and some deal making. And then Senator Ben Nelson getting Reid to agree to put an end to those crazy efforts that would strip insurance companies of their antitrust exemption. Senator Nelson protecting those insurance monopolies that date back to 1942. Keeping in mind, of course, Senator Reid going to have to come back to all these senators to get yes votes when the bill is actually done. So this was just the preliminary deal making, and it was already pretty fruitful for a few folks. A man with a keen understanding of how political maneuvering unfolds, to say the least, former Democratic governor of Vermont, served as chairman of the Democratic National Committee. You can see him before you. Dr. Dean, welcome back. Give us some insight, because you see some of this deal making. It's obviously not new, but there's a point where you wonder whether those running our country or representing districts in our country are willing to subordinate our country for the interest of their district at almost any cost.
Well, I think that's going to be the big question, as to whether we can get a decent bill passed here. As you know, I believe they should have gone through reconciliation. That would have solved all these problems. But we're going to see a lot more of this. This is how you get legislation passed. The problem is that this legislation, if one person holds up this bill and it passes as a hodgepodge of nonsense, which is what the four more conservative Democrats want, basically an insurance company bill is what they want. This is a huge problem for the Obama administration. It's a huge problem for the Democrats in 2010. I think Harry's done a fantastic job getting this thing as far as he has. They are really playing with dynamite in terms of dividing the party, costing us a lot of seats, and essentially basically taking the Democratic promise and turning it into mush by 2010. It's a very serious problem. I think they're going to rue the day they didn't go to budget reconciliation to pass this bill.
And where do you see as the biggest risk? We've got a few sticking points, Dr. Dean. Obviously, the public option. There's the talk of the treatment of the sale of private insurance policies that fund elective abortion, even if they're sold inside of the nationally funded exchange. They don't want to do that, or some don't want to do that. How do you pay for it all in taxes on the rich to pay for this without breaking the monopoly? The fear-mongering among the seniors. We've got a whole list of things here. What do you see as the greatest time bomb for the Democrats?
The biggest time bomb in the short run is the public option. Without a public option, basically the activists in the Democratic Party sit on their hands in 2010. Obama's not on the ballot. There's no reason to go out and vote for a Democratic congressman or give him any money if they can't pass a health care bill that's worth anything. And so that's a huge problem for the Democrats if it's not in there. And it looks like, of course, a few of the folks aren't going to let it in there. The deficit is a big problem in the longer term. People are going to expect this to be paid for. The biggest problem is one that's not on the list. I think you've got to have people that actually have insurance by the election time of 2010, because if you don't, all the rumors and the death panels and the rationing and you can't see your own doctor, it's going to be all thrown up at election time, and it's going to be a he said, she said. One of the things I discovered in my career in politics is if you want to dispel rumors and fears and stop fear-mongering, actually get the bills done and get some people insured. And the best way to do that is to have a public option and make it be Medicare with obviously some payment adjustments, and let some people under 65 into Medicare. It's the only way you can get this thing up and running by 2010. Let some people under 65 get into Medicare by starting, say, June 1st of 2010, after the president signs the bill. All the rumors go away.
At what point, Dr. Dean, do we have to acknowledge that our political process is not equipped to solve this problem? That problems like this simply can't be solved through favor trading and accommodating special interests. They can only be solved through politicians who actually understand the issue and are willing to do the obvious. If you want to cover more people and have it cost less, you have to break monopolies and come up with new plans. You can't just do old school favor trading.
Well, I think the favor trading doesn't bother me that much. Look, Louisiana has as much right to money as New York or California does. That's age old. I mean, if that happens, it's as much the problem of the body as it is the person asking for the money.
No, precisely.
The big problem is the policy. This thing has been pretty watered down right now. It's about as watered down as it can get and still be a real bill. For example, there's really no insurance reform in this bill already. I just figured this out in the last few days. Even the House bill, which is the better of the two, and the Senate bill's a decent bill, but even the House bill, you can be charged twice as much for insurance if you have a pre-existing condition. Well, that's not really guaranteed issue or community rating. So there's not a lot left in this bill. The public option is about it.
Yeah, but if you're an insurance, but let's be honest, if you're an insurance company and you can get it legalized that everybody has to buy insurance or they pay taxes, it's a pretty good deal if you're a health insurance company.
Well, that's the thing. And if they get rid of the public option, this is just a bill to give away taxpayers' money to the insurance companies, just like they did to the banks and AIG. And I think the Democratic Party goes over and up in smoke. I think Sanders has got the right idea. You might as well kill this thing because the people are going to be furious if it passes, if it doesn't have a public option in it.
All right, listen, Governor, it's always a pleasure. Enjoy your weekend. I know it's a short one. Enjoy the holiday. We'll talk to you soon.